Good morning. How are you today? So today is April 20th, and I'm continuing our discussions here on discoveringyourcosmicself.com. The discussions are being generated from this book and from readers of the book. You are the universe, discovering your cosmic self and why it matters. So today's question comes from Cosmic Soul, and it's a beautiful question, something that we do discuss in the book. The question from Cosmic Soul is, my understanding is that the illusion of time comes from the illusion of movement, experienced motion of objects. Though all objects just wink in and wink out, there is no real motion. My question is, why the illusion in the first place? Thanks. So I'm linking the answer to this page here, discoveringyourcosmic self.com/forum/topic/time/numbered post 5926, in case you miss it. Okay, so this is a very interesting question. It can be answered in many, many ways. So science has its way of measuring time. Today, actually, the most accurate clocks are called atomic clocks. And an atomic clock is an extremely accurate type of clock that is regulated by the vibration of an atomic or molecular system such as cesium or ammonia. So this is how objective time is measured today, most accurately, through atomic clocks. But for starters, why don't I read to you from the book itself? And the chapter is, Where Did Time Come From? Where did time come from? So I'll read you the first paragraph, or the first two paragraphs. Time was never meant to be our enemy. We have turned it into one by saying things like, I'm running out of time, or time's up, which implies that human beings are trapped in the prison of time with no chance of escape, at least not until death reveals if the hope of an afterlife is true. Einstein found a way to make peace with time, however, when he said that past and future are illusions, only the present moment exists. This is one of those brilliant moments when the world's spiritual traditions and the advance of science converged. Did an enlightened sage, a prophetic poet, or a famous physicist say the following? And here's the quote: For eternally and always there is only now. One and the same now. The present is the only thing that has no end. Guess who said that? Guess who said that? The words are those of Erwin Schrödinger, who, like many quantum pioneers, drew closer to mysticism the more he understood the revolution he had helped to create. Since the mystical has fatal effects in science, what happens if we decide that Schrödinger was completely literal? We would be left with a now familiar mismatch. Time in everyday life definitely moves from past to present to future. How can it be that time stands still, or even more incredible, that time was invented by the human mind? That's the first two paragraphs of the chapter, Where Did Time Come From? From You Are the Universe, discoveringyourcosmicself.com is the site to go to, and Discovering Your Cosmic Self matters. That's what the thesis of the book is. You are the universe. So let's go back to Cosmic Soul's question. Cosmic Soul says that the illusion of time is from the movement, experienced motion of objects, though all objects just wink in and out, and there is no illusion. Then Cosmic Soul goes on to ask, my question is, why the illusion in the first place? And I'll add something to that. What I'll add is that it is possible to escape the illusion of time. And that has immense implications on biological aging as well. Okay, so Cosmic Soul, I don't know if Cosmic Soul is he or she, but Cosmic Soul also says there's motion or the experienced motion of objects, and but that also is an illusion. So what is Cosmic Soul referring to? So just watch this. I'm moving the book from here to here. This is the experience of motion. Okay, I'm moving my hand from here to here. My lips are moving. So this is the perceptual experience that you're having at this moment. But actually on your screen, there's no movement. Only electrons and photons are winking in and out in a certain sequence that gives the illusion of motion. Once again, on your screen, electrons, photons, subatomic fluctuations, if you want to call them, are winking in and out in a certain sequence, and that's what creates the illusion of motion on your screen. The image doesn't move from here to here, only electrons move in and out. Only, you have, you can say, micro objects winking in and out. Okay? So what you're experiencing as motion on the screen is an illusion. How about when you look at the world? When I look at my hand and I move it like this, is that an illusion? The answer is, at the most fundamental levels of reality, what I'm experiencing as the hand at the subatomic level has winked in and out millions, trillions of times, and in a certain sequence that creates the illusion of movement. It doesn't matter if my hand is moving here, from here to here, or I'm moving in a jet plane from here to South Africa, from New York City to Japan, because the plane and the people in the plane have winked in and out of the quantum vacuum billions and billions and trillions of times, and again in a certain sequence, so that the illusion of movement from New York to Tokyo has been created. Your body, your plane, the city, and every point in the city has winked in and out. Now, many people who are very established in science would call this ridiculous, and some would agree with it, but the fact is, the entire universe is winking in and out of the so-called quantum vacuum, or what is called the plenum void, P-L-E-N-U-M, plenum void. The entire universe is winking in and out at this moment. And it's doing that in an eternal now. But previously we have established that objects of experience are actually modes of perception. This is a mode of perception. The sound is on and off. But seeing and the mode of perception is actually a movement of awareness, of consciousness. A movement of awareness or consciousness. Consciousness is modifying itself into both thought and perceptual experience, which is sound, which is texture, which is taste, smell, and seeing. All of these things are the modifications of consciousness as it interacts with its own self and creates what is called a perceptual experience, and also an interpretation of that perceptual experience as thought. So bear with me slowly, and you'll maybe have to come back to this video and replay it if you really want to understand what I'm saying, okay? So what I'm saying is that the object and the body and the hand and everything else that I'm seeing are actually modulations or modifications of awareness as it interacts with itself, creating the experience of seer, process of seeing, and that which is seen all within itself. And this is happening as an on-off. In fact, without the on-off, there is no experience. If I put my hand on your thigh and I don't move it, after a while you won't know it's there. But if I move it again, you might say, what the heck are you doing? So similarly, right now you're not aware of the fact that your naked skin is touching your clothes. But now that I bring your awareness to it, you become aware. Or that your buttocks are touching the seat of this floor or the chair, but I bring it into your awareness, and then you have it as an experience. This is the movement of awareness as it modulates itself into seer, process of seeing, and that which is seen. Knower, process of knowing, and that which is known. Observer, process of observing, and that which is observed, all within consciousness, fluctuating within itself. And all sensory experience is possible only because consciousness fluctuates, goes on and off within itself, and creates that experience. Knower, knowing, known. Seer, seeing. Scenery. Okay. This then, on-off, creates the illusion of movement in an eternal now, because the eternal now is vibrating as experience. It has to vibrate. On, off, on, off, on, off. This creates the illusion not only of time, it creates the illusion of movement. The two are synonymous, as Cosmic Soul said. It creates the illusion of a material world, because the material world is an interpretation of sense perceptions. That's all it is. And sense perceptions themselves are the movement of consciousness as it modifies itself into seer, process of seeing, and scenery. So please listen to this carefully if you want to really understand it, and if you want to understand that you can escape the clutches of time up to a point. Okay. If this is clear, then we see that not only is time an illusion, but space-time causality and the material world are all illusions. What is not the illusion? What is not the illusion is the timeless being that is modulating itself as time-bound experience. Teresa Marvin says, I just received my book, You Are the Universe. So happy for this mind journey. Thank you, Deepak. Cape Cod, Ma. Thank you, Teresa, and let me know what you think of it. So I'm getting back to the experience of time time is as much as illusion, as the whole realm of space-time causality in the material world. I've already said that the material world is an interpretation of sense perceptions. Even the interpretation is an awareness. Sense perceptions are the modifications of awareness or consciousness. Okay, if we have understood it thus far, then we can boil it down to one sentence. Time is the movement of thought. Time is the movement of thought that separates the observer from the observed. Time is the movement of thought that separates the seer from the scenery. Time is this movement of thought that separates the knower from the known. Time is the movement of thought that separates the lover from the beloved. Time is the movement of thought that separates you and the universe as two different entities. So when we transcend thought, even for brief moments in meditation, time comes to a standstill. And when time comes to a standstill, then everything comes to a standstill. Your body is in the state of least entropy. Even aging slows down. That's why telomerase goes up. That's why telomeres lengthen. So biological age starts to slow down and even reverse itself. For a time, because then consciousness moves. The state of perfect order cannot last in the relative world eternally. So the state of order is disturbed, and then there is the experience of what we call everyday reality, mind, body, universe. That's why in the Vedanta it is said the undisturbed state of consciousness is pure being, pure love, pure bliss, pure peace, pure joy, pure understanding, pure creativity, pure synchronicity. But this disturbed state of awareness is the entire universe. All bodies, all minds, all knowers, all modes of knowing. Being, becoming. Being is timeless, becoming is in time. Okay, so you got it. Okay, anytime you want to escape the clutches of time, slow down the biological process which is in time, or even stop that, you have to go to source. And what is source? Timeless being. Timeless being. Okay, so I've said once again, I said it the other day, let's all come out as timeless beings. Let's all be outed from this time-bound illusion into the knowingness and the reality and the understanding that we are timeless being. I'm outing myself as timeless being. Will you join me? As I said, I'm outing myself as timeless being. Will you join me? I'm outing this body-mind as a timeless being. Will you join me? Sean Limeback says, outed. Lisa Bayer says, outed. Nita Raga says, timeless being. Munesh Sinha says, I'm outing myself. Elena says, of course. Aaron Thatcher says, I'm timeless being. Susie Franklin says, I'm outing myself as a timeless being. Surendra Kumar says, your explanation of the universe is, I don't know what he said. I lost him. Okay, Michelle, I'm outing myself. Rita Smith, I'm outing myself. I will join. Hannah Titan, I join you. So here we are. We're all outing ourselves. Sonia Nagy, I'm my timeless being. Teresa Johnson, outed. Kosi, timeless being. Judy, I'm here. Katerina, outed. Okay, so we are going to create a critical mass of us who are outing themselves as timeless beings. And this will change the way we age, by the way. This will change our biological processes, understanding that even the biological process is a projection. And so, again, Cosmic Soul says, why the illusion in the first place? I will say it's cosmic play. What in the great wisdom traditions is called the cosmic play, or Leela, the goddess that puts on a veil and comes outs herself as a time-bound experience in timeless being. She's always timeless. Kaja Kothas says, outed. Okay, so why cosmic play? What is our purpose? Our purpose, I think, is to out ourselves and know ourselves as timeless beings. And suddenly, as I said that, suddenly you see everything here, the colors, the shades changed. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So then the answer to the question, where did time come from? Time came from the same place that everything comes from, consciousness. Time is a qualia. What's a qualia? Qualia is a mode of experience. Time is a qualia, like the sweetness of sugar or the colors in the rainbow. All are expressions of consciousness once the universe was hatched from the womb of creation. Tabby says, outed. Okay, so yes, we came out from the womb of creation, but it is our privilege as human consciousness to return home. To return home and to ground ourselves in being, in timeless being. Yogast Kuru Karmani established. Elisa says, I feel a shift. Good, Elisa. Maria says, I'm timeless being. Elvira reinforces time is a qualia. Yes, time is a qualia, quality of experience, like the colors of a rainbow, the sweetness of sugar, the taste of chocolate cake. We have given names to every form. Anything that has a name or can be described is perceived as a form. But when we look at that form, we see it's a phenomenon, a movement within our own self, as perceptions and the interpretation of perceptions called thought. So, in fact, the universe that we experience is a movement of thought. We are not the movement of thought, we are the source of thought. The self is the source of thought and the source of perception, and the source is timeless being. Manish Sinha says, you're a qualia, sir. Yes, my body-mind is a qualia in your own being, but your being and my being is the source of all qualia. Yes, this is Advaita. This is non-dual monism. This is non-dual understanding of reality. We are indeed the source of the universe. We are indeed the universe. The universe is conceived in the self, known in the self, organized in the self, sustained in the self, and made out of the self. I am that, you are that, all this is that. That alone is Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. Now there will be some people who will of course disagree with this, but then ask yourself, who is it that disagrees? because disagreement is a thought coming from the same place as the agreement. You can choose right now whether you want to be a time-bound body, mind, and ego squeezed into the volume of body, or you want to really know yourself as timeless being.